Selamat datang. You're listening to Marilah Pulang. I'm Straw Lim, and with me is producer Melina William. Together, we'll take you behind the music of our album, Pulang. Pulang means return in Malay. It's a love letter to Malaysia with a mix of 5 languages and features the fusion of traditional and electronic music.
Over the next episodes, we'll break down each song from the idea to the arrangement, the studio stories, and the tiny details that add so much flavor to the album.
Here, it's all about the how the sounds and instruments came together to tell these stories of home, identity, and belonging.
Some tracks are playful, some are reflective, and some took months to perfect. You'll hear those behind-the-scenes moments, the blood, sweat, and happy tears.
So, consider this a sonic journey. You're stepping into our world, and at the same time, Marilah Pulang. Let's come home together.
In our first episode, we'll start with the origin story and Hey, the instrumental that opens the album.
Let's dive in. On 14 May 2020,
7:15 p.m. Doo-doo-doo.
I sent you a message on WhatsApp.
Oh my god, what's that?
It says, I was wondering if I could call you and ask you some questions about production. See no evil, monkey emoji. I wanted to write a concept album with a Malaysian theme, and knowing that you're kind of on board gave me courage to pursue it. In October 2021, I came here to check out the studio, here as in RMP Productions / Playspace. We discussed in person for the first time, and we talked about the budget and other practical things. And then in January 2022, I sent you the first album demo. It was called Fun and Fair.
Fun and fair. Fun fair.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
And it was kind of filtered and refined from 100 raw demos
Okay.
to 10 songs. Yeah, so in February 2022, we met at the studio again and discussed about it, and you were officially on board. So I wanted to ask you, what made you decide to take on this project?
I think I really like working with people who have something to say for real, and I always imagine the source for a project to be like a toy box, and is that box full of toys, and does it define you, and does it make you feel excited? Because if it does, it makes me feel excited, and that's why I'll say yes. Like, I will mirror the enthusiasm and what you have to bring on board. Like, that's what makes me say yes to something. It excites you, it excites me, and I feel that we're not trying to squeeze something out of nothing.
Yeah, when I sent you those songs, right, I kind of was expecting you to reject some of them, or like ask me to redo some parts, or like, and I kind of left some space for it to be, rearranged and edited. So, but why did you kind of accept all the songs and you kept a lot of the structures?
Because I knew what you went through to get to this point. I feel like if it was just ideas that you came up with and then like had no time to workshop it on your own or go through it and stuff, I know you went through a lot. It went through a lot of things before it came to me. So when I listened to them with that in mind, and I felt like that was already what you wanted to say, and I felt like I wanted to honor that as much as I could.
Do you feel like it's a limitation?
Actually, no. I feel like it's very freeing for me on my part, because I feel like this is already a very solid foundation. I'm not trying to fix anything. I don't feel like. I feel like you're showing me a thing, and what I need to do is to find out more about it and to help it to get to a point that we've already discussed and talked about without compromising its core.
In the demos are quite short. I did not expect the length. I mean, it wasn't intentional. They want to keep it to like 2.5 minutes or like 3 minutes. I was expecting it to maybe be longer, but then it felt okay with that length. How do you feel? Because it's very different from the songs that we used to listen to.
I don't know maybe every section of the song is very interesting. It didn't feel like we needed to go back and repeat things. Whenever I approach this kind of things, like especially with songs that have a lot of very strong ideas and stories, I treat it almost like film scoring. If you're scoring for film, you're not asking the film to, oh, can we come back to this scene again? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll work with what you give me, like that. That's what it felt like to me. Like a lot of the times I won't be sitting with an instrument. I felt like I needed to get acquainted with the songs as they were, and one was the way that they were laid out. Once I have a very strong feeling about what the song is telling me, and it shows me what it wants to be or where it goes, then only I start putting in the sounds. I don't want to sit there and be like, let's try this, let's try that. I never, like, it tells me what it wants to be.
Sounds quite magical, like there's a connection between you and the demo.
Yeah, a lot of times I'm just sitting in a dark room, just listening to things, and it's almost like an out of body experience. And then I feel this is where it wants to go, this is what it is. I feel like I'm just unearthing it.
Remember after that conversation, you asked me to set up a Dropbox folder. You can throw files into it,
Yes.
and share ideas. We also set up a playlist with song references. I kind of wrote like a storyline to guide the flow of the album. Did you read it?
Yes.
Oh, yay, thank you.
I read everything and I listen to everything that you gave.
We also made like a Pinterest board to visualize the album.
Pinterest board? Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that. Yes, I looked at it too.
I actually almost forgot about this.
Actually it was this, like, I'll listen to the songs, I'll look at the stuff, and I'll try very hard not to put anything of myself into it at all, because I don't want to dictate anything early on. I don't want to put my colors into it yet, until it's at least up to a certain point. Like, it's like, yes, this is it. Then only I'll be like, oh, okay, I think it needs this. I think this would make it cooler or something like that. But before that, it's always like, this is you. These are your stories. Visually, emotionally, psychologically, this is where it is. This is where you are. And let me just really, really try and capture that.
Such a great skill that a producer could have. This whole experience really changed how we kind of feel like the producer has to give the direction and we follow what the producer thinks, because it's a whole different skill set. Or maybe we just like write the songs as like singer-songwriters. But seeing how you honor my demos and my ideas, it really feels like, it's just an interesting working dynamic, and I feel like you did a really good job trying to capture what I'm trying to do in this album, even though I did not give you a lot of like directions actually also.
Yeah, but what you gave me was information that I needed, that helped to inform the choices that I wanted to make. Like, sometimes I was wondering, we discussed a few things about like what kind of sounds we wanted and all that stuff. That sometimes I felt like if I felt limited by that, then I'll go back to the list of songs that you sent me that you like, and then I'll just reach from there. Then I'll be confident about, okay, I'm going to do this because you like this stuff and you're okay for it to be in the album, this album.
Actually, it's quite hard to find references.
It is, definitely. But remember, I said, don't worry about it. I know, like, if people give references, it's hard because they'll be scared, like, I don't want I don't want my album to sound like this. That's why I don't want this reference. You know what I mean? But that's why you could just tell me, I like this because of this. You know what I mean? I like that because of that. I think also it's important, like what we talked about, not just what you like, but also what you don't like or what you don't want. Basically, the more information you give me when I'm on my own and I have to make choices or what, having these things on hand help me lah.
So now let's get into the album.
Okay.
The first track is Hey.
Hey.
You heard of Liu Sanjie?
Yes.
Sanke.
Yes. When I went back to my grandfather's house, then he had all these videotapes. One of it was that.
So Sanke is like songs from the mountains,
Right.
and yeah, same like you. I think our grandparents probably the same generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to play it on the TV. My grandma and my mom, and I took it as a way like how people communicate.
Very handy before you had WhatsApp.
Yeah. Hey feels like the start of a conversation once the other person accepts the invitation, and I wanted it to kind of flow seamlessly into the next track. So you want to talk a little bit about arrangement for Hey?
Okay.
You start with the dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
essentially
I
the
think
riff.
I kept it as sparse as possible, and I knew I wanted the sounds of the forest, specifically sounds of our forest, and that's what we did, right?
Where do you get those sounds?
Didn't I get it from you? Like
yeah, I
you said,
think
you
maybe I
went
did.
hiking or
Yeah,
something.
I gave you a
This
bunch.
bukit, blah, blah, blah. And then I just found like the cleanest one. Like I just wanted.
Oh, it was from me.
Yes, it was from you. A lot of stuff's from. I mean,
Thank
everything
you.
was.
Thank you,
everything was
Sabah.
from you. Okay,
Yeah.
everything was from you. That's your album.
Yeah, thank you. I did the work.
Oh.
During the studio, we tried different energies for Hey.
Yes, you stood really far back, and then you stood right at the mic. You were like, "Hey, hey," all over this room.
Except lying down.
Yeah, yeah, that was what I was missing.
Okay, we should do the whole album
That's
again.
Lying
Oh yeah,
down.
that was fun.
Yeah.
I think we recorded the album based on sequence, right? We tried to.
Yes, and I actually also tried to. It's like, oh, okay, we're here now. What are we feeling here? Like that.
Since
Concept.
it's a concept album, so we wanted to
Be conceptual.
flow with the flow.
Flow with the flow. Flow with the flow.
And actually, it's the first time we worked together in the same space in person. And yeah, the studio is such a magical place. Did you have any moments where you just had a spur of inspiration?
Yeah, of course. Well, actually, I think I feel the best ideas are when I'm not in front of my computer, because then I feel like I'm feeling things more very organically, and then like I have the idea. I'm sure I have a lot of recordings on my phone of like motifs and stuff that I wanted to try, because I have the songs in my head already. You know what I mean? I'm listening to your songs a lot. I'm like, ooh, it's this thing. And I remember a lot of the ideas that I'm playing actually first takes. That, and it's not stuff that I planned. It was more like, and not like I'm just jamming. It's not. It's like I knew exactly where I wanted to go because I was already so familiar with the song. You know what I mean? Like I guess I'll talk about that when we get to that song. But a lot of it's like that.
Okay. Can you tell us how you schedule and plan all the recording sessions?
I think this one I just fell back on the. I know who I want to be after something, who I want to react to, whose performance. That's how I schedule. It's like I need this person to lay down their parts because I need what they do to dictate these next instruments. So for example, just on a very basic level, maybe I want the drums to come in first so that everything sits with the drums. Was that boring?
It's helpful
Okay.
to know how to prioritize.
Yes.
Because there's so many things you need to record, and how do you
Yeah.
decide?
I mean, of course, sometimes we have to also go with the schedule that fits, but I'll always choose the thing that dictates the general,
Direction.
yeah, the most domineering thing. I mean, besides the voice.
And how do you decide what you want to record live? And
I mean, in an ideal situation where time and budget is of no constraint, it would be so awesome to do everything live. If not, then just record what we can, sadly to say, sacrifice. But as much as possible, the traditional instruments, of course, live as much as possible. It's more of a budget constraint. Yeah.
Hey, and the next song is like a continuous thing. Is there something you have to do differently?
Yes. Even though there are two songs and I know in the end they'll be separated into 2 tracks. I work on them as one song because I want them to flow seamlessly into the next part. So that was the only way. Actually, even for other songs, I think sometimes I would put the track from that song into the session just to see how it felt.
And that was track 1, Hey. Thanks for tuning in. Next episode, track 2, Colourbration. This podcast is recorded at RMP Productions, assisted by Faz Aznam.